Shalom to all the brothers out there. Once again, we're back. The brothers, the elders of GMS, as some of y'all know us. I'm Rakar, got the brother Manatzak, brother Sakaran, brother Ainap, got the brother Ayathan man in the camera. And the topic of tonight's show is called marriage. That's the topic of this show, marriage. And we're going to basically, through the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who a lot of you people ignorantly call God in Christ, we're going to break down this farce or this big fraud here in America known as marriage. And we're going to bring out scriptures according in the Bible going into this whole thing about marriage, okay? And this whole thing dealing with divorce, marriage and divorce. And we're going to go into scriptures and we're going to show you what real marriage institutes. And we're also going to go into scriptures through the Spirit of the Lord and show you that this whole thing about divorce, that really according to the Bible, there's no such thing as divorce. Basically, all these women that are running around out here, like you might have a woman, she done been with 10 different men in her life, which I'm being nice, really, to say that. But I'll just start with that number. But I said you got a woman, in her lifetime, she might have had sexual intercourse with 10 different men, right? And the 11th guy that she's with right now, she's talking about that's her man or that's her husband. But she's already been with 10 different guys. She done sexually laid in the bed and had 10 different rods or dicks inside of her vagina and her mouth and everywhere else you can imagine. Okay?
In her anus?
Wherever. Okay? And lawful and unlawful places.
Yeah.
Okay? But she gets with this 11th guy and all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, that guy is supposed to really take that woman serious.
I got a scripture.
Okay, read this, brother.
Quick precept. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 21. Verse 20, I'm sorry. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness.
There you go. And that's so true. And really, that applies to 95% of the women that's walking around in the world today. And let's bring it home, really, America. Here in America, because well, all over the world, man, women are just wicked, even in the other countries. But America, wickedness, this place called America in the scriptures is known as Babylon. And the so-called white man, who we call, according to the Bible, Esau, these Edomites who are ruling this kingdom or ruling this society, okay, they're all about wickedness. Why? Because they're the devil, according to the Bible. So everything that they're doing is adverse to the Bible. So the scriptures right here in Proverbs says, for such is the way of an adulterous woman. Now, what's adultery? Adultery is a woman, right, being with a man and going and having sex with another man aside from her husband. That's adultery. There's, well, you have, that's physical adultery. Now, us, the nation of Israel, we committed spiritual adultery against the Most High. What's that? Because the Most High said in the Bible that he was married unto Israel. That's the real true marriage. The real marriage is the marriage between us, the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes, and the Father, who you know as Yahweh. So we committed adultery. How did we commit adultery against the Most High, the nation of Israel? We went and we started worshiping other false, non-existent gods that really didn't even exist. Good, brother. Hold it a second. Like the golden calf or Buddha or Allah or Jehovah or whatever it is, man. And say, oh, this is the Most High. I don't know the Most High, or I don't know Yahweh, but this is my God right here, Buddha. See, so that's adultery. So every time a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American worships anything outside of Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, that's adultery. You're committing adultery. Meaning we're going away from our true husband and we're spiritually having intercourse with other false, non-existent gods. So that's spiritual adultery. And that's why the Most High punished the nation of Israel. So these women that are running around here committing physical adultery on the earth, meaning a woman that has a man, but she's going around laying down with other men. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We're going to bring this out all throughout the course of this show. When a woman is a virgin, when she's actually really a virgin, when her virginity has not been taken yet, the first man that comes upon that woman and takes her virginity, guess what? That's her husband for life. Or that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's the law.
That's the law. Like Yahushua said, like Christ said. And what constitutes marriage, according to the Bible? And we're going to bring the scriptures out to prove that. Sex. Sex.
I got it.
Okay, read that, brother.
Okay, this is the book of Deuteronomy in the law, chapter 22, and I'll go straight to it.
As you people in the world out there say, the law of Moses, you people always talking about in the white man, you make shows in the laws of Moses, the laws of Moses, but you don't acknowledge the laws of Moses. Exactly. These are one of the laws that Moses wrote down that was given to him by the Most High. But you fucking devils, you crackers, you say, oh, the 10 Commandments. You made a movie with Charlton Heston back in the 50s talking about the 10 Commandments, the 10 Commandments. There was more commandments than 10 commandments, man. Mm-hmm. There were hundreds of commandments, okay, that the Most High gave Israel. So the book of Deuteronomy and the book of Leviticus contains these laws. So this is the law that the Most High gave Moses to tell Israel, because the laws were given to the Israelites about dealing with marriage or dealing with a man and a woman, right? Read that, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her.
Stop. What does that mean? If a damsel is a young woman. If a man find a damsel, right, that is a virgin, meaning she's a woman that never had sex with another man. She's not ever been touched by another man. And it says lay hold on her. Wait a minute. How do you lay hold on somebody? You fucking grab them and put your hands on them. Yeah, by force. By force. You mean you take that person by force. So wait a minute. In this kingdom, they say, well, you ain't supposed to rape a woman. Like if a man sees a woman he wants and he just takes that woman and has sex with her forcibly, that's wrong. But according to the Bible, it's not wrong. As long as that woman doesn't have a man. Well, that's why the Bible is specified. That's a virgin. So if she's a virgin, that means she surely ain't got no man. And betrothed, that means she's not promised. Because in the ancient world, now you fucking devils, you talk about that. You talk about because in the other nations, they still deal with these laws. The Arabs, the so-called Africans, and all these other nations, even amongst the Oriental nations, the father will promise, if he has a daughter that's a virgin, a young woman at the age of like 12, 13 even, they start that young over there, 14, 15, whatever. And his daughter's a virgin, and he might have another young nobleman in the village that the father might respect this guy, and they come from another noble family. Even when they're young, they'll say, listen, when my daughter comes of age, I promise her onto your son. Okay? So that's being betrothed. And then the father, the other guy's father, will give a dowry or gifts, whatever it may be, gold or silver or cattle to the father of the woman. And guess what? Those two children are betrothed from a young age. Case in point, like the movie Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. That was a prime example of that. That faggot Eddie Murphy was even showing you that. In the movie, the woman that Eddie Murphy was supposed to marry in the beginning of the movie, that woman was betrothed onto him from a young age. But then in the movie, they were showing that he had Kim. And when this movie starts off, y'all looked at that like it was a comedy. In the beginning of the movie, it was so-called Eddie Murphy's Prince Hakeem. It was his birthday, right, meaning he had came of age, so it was time for him to get married to that woman. All right, Colonel, a guy Calvin Lockhart played the role, Colonel Izzy, and he was betrothed to his daughter, and his daughter was betrothed to the prince, which was Eddie Murphy, played by Eddie Murphy. So that means no other man couldn't come, and she was a virgin. She was a virgin, but she was betrothed. She was already promised to another man. And in the scriptures with David and Saul's daughter, that was the same case. That woman, guess what? David, because Saul was so wicked, what was her name again? I always forget her name. The woman that Micah. She had already popped another dude, but when David came back, guess what? When David came into power, David came and took the bitch back, right? Claimed her, because that's heavy. Meaning another man had already violated her, but David came and said, look, that's my woman. Why? Because Saul, the king, had already betrothed that woman to David.
And that's heavy, man. So that means that there's women that sit out there in the spirit that belong to certain of the brothers. That's right. Which you unclaim that bitch. That's right. And now the Elder Tahar, I mean, he says it a few times, but this week at the camp, he said it. He said, look, brother, you see a woman or whatever, You set up a spiritual claim, and you just
Yep.
set up this. You know, you might see a woman. Cause we ain't faggots. We all love women, contrary to you idiots. But you see a spirit, you see a woman that you like, you put up a claim on her in the spirit, and the Lord, when that time comes, when the Lord magnifies, because we gonna be magnified. When the Lord magnifies us, you gonna go and claim, just like King David claimed Micah, because even though she was with another boat, which the nigga was wicked anyway, he got killed. All right, and David came back and claimed this because she belonged to David originally, even though she got with another nigga. So the Most High got women out there that's betrothed into us that we gonna come back and claim.
Yeah, and that's heavy.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. And that was
Yeah.
when David came into his power.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, when wicked ass Saul was still alive, he was trying to kill David.
Psalms
David was on the run. But then
and 2.
when David became the king, when he came into his power, he came and took that bitch. And that's the same thing. We ain't in our power right now. That's why you motherfuckers are talking shit. But when the Lord bring us into our power, there's going to be a whole new ballgame.
And you know another example of that real quick, the Elder Sakaran mentioned it earlier when we were speaking, Tobit. Because Tobit, basically, his wife, it's in the 7th and 8th chapter, she was really, everybody that went to go deal with her, they got put to death because it was a demon named Asmodeus that was set up over her. So he killed every nigga that was to deal with her, because why? She really belonged to Tobit. So we ain't got to worry about that, bitch. You got to come to see us. If you belong to us, you belong to us.
That's right.
Ain't nothing where ain't no way you can get out of that.
So
Yeah,
any
yeah,
nigga
out of
that
that
killed-
thing,
any
man.
nigga that
Bro.
killed them.
They're going to be dealt with.
Yeah,
That's right.
Now, let's go back here.
Right, now back in Deuteronomy 22 and 28. If a man finds a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed,
Meaning she ain't promised to nobody else.
and lay hold on her,
Meaning grab the bitch up, read,
and lie with her,
and what does it mean, lie with her? It don't mean laying down in the bed looking up at the stars. It means lay down and have sex with her. Have sex with her. That's you people. Now, according to you people, you faggots today, you would consider that rape. According to the New York State Penal Code, that would be considered rape, right?
right,
You know?
and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver.
No, hold on, no. You should call the New York City Police Department and have that guy arrested for rape, right? According to you devils. No. After the guy, like if somebody sees him and say, oh, that guy, he took and popped your daughter. Goes to the father and says, I saw that guy having sex with your daughter. After that, when the guy's done busting his nut, we're just going to come raw. He got to go to the woman's father and say, listen, man, I saw your daughter, and I know she wasn't promised to nobody, and I know she's a virgin, and I took her and I had sex with her. Because she was that, I desired her,
Yep.
and I wanted her, and I had sex with her. The minute that man had sex with that woman, that's his wife. So he got to go basically pay for that woman. Go give the father some money, shekels of silver or gold, cattle, horses, whatever it is. Now, amongst the Indians, we dealt with that system. If within the tribe, if there was a warrior that wanted a certain woman or a tribal elder's daughter, or not even it could have been any man, you had to go and give that guy something. You had to gift him with something. And amongst us, it had to be something. You had to impress the father. You had to be a man of valor. If the father thought you were just a piece of shit, nah, man, you can't marry my daughter. Okay?
Yeah, that's spiritual. That goes back into the history of Israel.
Yeah.
That's why they set up marriages, man. They said, you know what? I know your family. Your son is gonna marry my daughter, or your daughter's gonna marry my son. I know that you come from a good stock.
That's right.
You know, they didn't sit there. There wasn't no bullshit with you had to kick game and go get on bended knee and propose. Do this whole thing. We didn't. Not once did we hear nothing about, well, a man must propose and get on bending knee.
Well,
Say,
no, before, I'm sorry, but even before that, it didn't say nothing about he went and asked her to go out for a steak.
Yeah.
A steak dinner, a court, and took out on a date. That whole dating shit is satanic. And like I said, like in that movie Dances with Wolves, show you the scene when Kevin Costner was marrying the woman. They were two white people, but they were living amongst the Lakota, amongst the Indians. So they were following the customs of the Indians, which is a tribe of Gad, and Reuben, who we are. The scene when the medicine man, the Wachasho Khan, was speaking, right? They came before the whole tribe. They had food. It was a feast. And you might have had a holy man that said sent up a prayer to bless the union. But what consummated the marriage? They told him, now take her inside. He took her inside the teepee, and they closed the flap, and you know what went on in there?
I got a scripture.
They had sex. That's what consummated it. So
Okay.
when a man